Okay, we're here, part 2 of our Satisfactory experimental build base tour. For anyone tuning in midway through this playlist, part 1 is also available. I'll put the link down below. But picking back up, we're going to be starting off with RavenMad's home base and then scooting on out to other parts of the build. Look, some of the things she did is just insane. So I'm excited for you to see it. Let's go.
So this was inspired by Naboo, and I also like very medieval stuff. I wanted like a cathedral-y, sci-fi vibe. So I was like, okay, well, what do I want? I want columns. So this is where I worked out columns. This is also where I figured out how to make cool patterns on the ground. So just with layering of the floors. So I had the normal floor, and then I grabbed the, oh, what did I grab?
Yeah, I can see them on the ground. I'm like, it's the inner corner extensions.
Yeah, so I got those, and it was actually amazing that you could put them on top of each other. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I could try different things. And so I just had to play around. And then this is also where I figured out how to make my chandeliers.
Yeah, as you can see, the chandeliers. This is a RavenMad invention.
So basically, when I saw Orion's lights in his one, I thought, oh my goodness, you can use the squares as lights. And then I thought, well, what if I put them around each other? What would happen? And things just started to form. I made a very simple square one, and then I went, hold on, wait a second.
Yeah, next minute they started getting bigger, and then you got to this.
I could definitely improve these a bit, but these were so fun. I was actually really happy with these. I have to say though, this was before I knew about blueprints.
So, oh yeah, you made all these individual. Yeah.
Yes, this is also where I figured out how you can make things look like they're floating by using columns inside and then deleting them.
Yeah.
My username is RavenMad. Why don't I try and make a raven?
And next minute we have a raven. And what's it eating on the ground there?
With the slugs!
Yeah, so we got the wing going out to the left here, and the wing going out to the right there with the eye in the center. This was genius. That when Raven made all this and I first went into it, my mind was blown. It's like she just decided, hey, I'ma just level up in this whole game. Like, it's just wonderful.
I can just have fun in making areas that don't exist, but I can just use things to just make things.
Yeah.
So, I just made a little table with chairs and a little training area here and a hazard map, the hazard area. This is where I thought, well, this is also where you can use space to just make some more things. So I made a crazy, again, use the patterned ground and made chairs and a table and a whole ballroomish area.
Yeah. Nice reception.
And then, a reception area and just like a nice little, dining.
Yeah.
And then this is where I learned that you can make things look like computers.
Indeed.
And a PowerPoint presentation. But one of my favorites is upstairs.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is where I figured out where you can have fun with circles.
Oh yes, this blew my mind. Like the utilization of these circles. Like as you can see here, it's just outer corner piping placed in specific areas on ramps, and it just gives that awesome feel. And I think this is where I learned how you could use these, was because of you. So this is amazing.
This is real fun. So this is giving me like a Death Star type of vibe inside. And then I made this when
this is right.
Barbie and Oppenheimer was being released. And so I made a cinema.
It's a fully working cinema with Barbenheimer playing. It's amazing. You got seats to go watch it. It's just phenomenal. Like, just look at that. It looks like a cinema. That's fantastic.
It's so fun. Actually, this was my first chandelier. This was my very first one in my room.
This is where it all began. The chandelier in your room. Nice.
Yeah, and I saw your idea of putting things on a shelf, and I thought, well, I want to make a really cool, extravagant bed and put jewels and gold thread around myself.
And look
And
at
of
that
course,
bed.
it
It's a
looks
beautiful bed.
Yeah, this took me a while to figure out, just because you're just putting stuff together and
Yeah, but ultimately that's kind of the whole thing is trying something new, putting things together, and you can create something that's actually quite spectacular.
This is where I figured out about that you could make lights look like little candle lights around
Oh
the
yeah,
outside.
look at these little candle lights that you can have.
Yeah,
Nice little
and
candles.
yeah, I'm all about making sure that everyone in the company has a space that they can go to and just be themselves. And I think this is where I was like, oh, this could be more than just a factory
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I love that this is a factory game. Like I love the whole thing. This is where I was like, oh, you can really do anything.
Yeah. And that's really why I wanted to showcase this stuff, is to go, this is how you can make this game to that next level. It's creating stuff that not only is practical, but also beautiful and fun. And like simple things like adding cars and trucks and stuff moving around just makes it feel alive.
Actually, since we're up here, I thought, look, with all of the different things that we build, you have your constructions and then you have your little fun things. I thought, what would be fun? Mario Kart in Satisfactory. So we have our wonderful carts, and you just hop on in one of these, and then you just drive on around.
And off they go.
The reason that this was built specifically here was to make sure that at the very end of this track, you go off and over the waterfall.
There goes one. Well, I suppose I might as well do it too. All right, let's see how we go.
Oh,
The racetrack. Here we go. Ah! Off the edge. It's so hard to control. Oh my gosh, it's glitchy.
I probably need to redo the entire racetrack. So far, it's fun. What is that? Oh wait, that's what I built.
Don't you love it when you forget what it is?
Oh,
yeah, obviously we've got the
fun.
blueprint producer in here and making some arches, so that's pretty exceptional. But let's just come over here. This is where we sort of were experimenting. This is sort of our experimental area. Oh, how to light areas. That's it.
Just
and using these label signs.
Yes, yeah. How to use the label signs? That was cool.
Coming in through to this grand storage area, we haven't shown this off yet. This is the grand storage. This was the basis around the whole build. We started off wanting to make something that was, again, practical yet beautiful. But we had to change and move so many different things because the game was evolving from experimental stage. So a lot of which that you see here is all coming through the main, what do we call this? The Highway of Doom.
Everything has that
Of Doom, yes. And everything comes in, spreads out into its respective container, then utilizing a fun little method of getting it downwards. It then gets sorted down the bottom, chucked back out, and then any excess gets sent down this beautiful little highway here off to be sunk as excess, earning those tickets. Now, the main thing that we learned here was actually how, not how to store things, we already knew how to do that, but it was actually how to manage things to be then sunk. Earning those extra tickets to unlock those more special builds and unique things. So I think this area was just really a thing of learning to manage everything. And
there was a lot of work that you did with the conveyor belts and figuring out how to
kind of figuring out how to move things and make things look good at the same time. So
yeah.
I think a bit of advice for anyone who is starting out new builds, you can definitely build areas that are bigger than you think. Like, I would just advise you to build a larger square. Like, this is bloody massive. And also, obviously, underneath, well, not underneath, obviously, but we have a train station underneath. That took us ages to build. We started first with our corner builds here, making this less of a box. Like, anyway, there's just so many things to We initially had a truck stop underneath, which was doing goods and whatever, but we ended up just not using that and moving it elsewhere. But yeah, in summary, up top we've got all our living quarters. To the left we have the Hypertube Exchange, which you've all seen, and then the Shooting Star, our pride and joy, which launches you absolutely everywhere. I think down the bottom here was where we started as well. You can see the train station. Obviously self-explanatory, it's a train station. It unloads and loads. This was our first learning curve with how to unload things with the trains and manage that. This down below was my first attempt to organize it all. So as it comes out of the train here, it goes into absolute mayhem of sorting with smart splitters, and then it gets shuttled into this chaos. Now, if you go inside, it is absolute spaghetti, but I boxed it up to make it look like it's not. So you can see over the left-hand side here that it's all sorting and everything else. I try to make it look like a floating platform with some nice little display signs. But anyway, that's kind of that section. But I think in short, this whole sort of area was build, change, make better. And that's kind of what we've stuck with since the beginning, would you say?
Yeah, like everything that you see here, there's been tweakings to it along the way. Even
this conveyor belt of doom, we ended up making these cool pillar things that make it look like it was holding everything up. So they started to look like floating, I don't know, Tron-esque platform holders, which were powering everything to hold things. So that was really cool.
Waterfall goods, the waterfall of doom.
The waterfall of doom. Yeah, that's it. It's beautiful.
But I love it, and I love how we're like, hey, like yes, we could just simply put this from A to B, but like let's see if we can have fun with it. Let's make it cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
My goodness, at the entry, yes.
Yeah. So
the scanners.
What Raven's saying there is the design from this was to have the trucks come in and this bit the scanners. That's pretty much it. It just makes that look and vibe. As again, it's learning how to.
This is a new feature of the game, so you need to make that.
It's a new feature, yeah. You have to scan your trucks. So that's what that is. How did we kind of do this?
Well, first, we were like, hey, okay, with this, what do we want to do? And we looked at the lay of the land first, and then we went, okay, let's kind of make the build a bit interesting. We kind of just went, like, you were on one side and I was on the other side, and then we just met it up in the middle and there was a bridge that formed, and we just kind of...
Yeah. It got chaotic, but it was good. So yeah, I think one bit of advice that I think we've learned here is just start. That's really it. When you want to build a big truck thing like this, just start. And then you find different creative things like putting road colorings and stuff like that. But just start. Like we've got working trucks here. It's not complete, but we just wanted to showcase this because that's really what it is. Just start on something and have fun with it.
And lots of electrical power poles so that we can keep flying.
Here's a tip, if you didn't know, when you're really trying to look at things and you want to just use your hover pack, we got power poles everywhere, but that's how we pretty much designed this. Go up really high and build everything. Yep. So that's a tip that we learned too. Delete it after to make it look better, but we had a lot of fun doing this truck stop. And yeah, it's a working truck stop. Well, what's the next little section that we should explore?
Oh my goodness, I love the shooting star at night.
Yes, look at the shooting star at night, the moon shining through the different... This is one of the things I want to just highlight real quick is the amount of time that was spent to do all these little things for this build that RavenMad just did well, like the reflections through the different sections on the center here and going down, it just makes it feel beautiful.
I'm just really proud of what we built. It's just, look at this. Like it's really fun.
Hello, whales.
Hello.
They're even appreciating the build. So
they are.
I agree with you. I'm really proud of what we've built. There's so many different elements that I think have been amazing. We've discovered how to move objects from one place to another. we've been able to change things and progress to a level where we have a new understanding on how we can be more creative. So I'm really happy with what this build came up with, and I think I'm really excited to discover what we can do in the next build with the launch of 1.0. Let's just take one final look around at this build because it has been a lot of fun, and working with yourself, Raven, and Auntruthsbeard, it's been incredible what we've been able to achieve here.
It's been so fun.
Yeah, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Well, thank you for sticking around for part 2 of our Satisfactory experimental build tour. We've got 2 more parts to go, which I'm very excited to show you. We're going to be heading back to where it all began and what chaos lurked there and how we kind of fixed it all up and made it better, along with some of our favorite outposts, etc. So I'll see you on the next one.